Do you wanna build a snowman?
Do you have a monkey in your pants?
Hey folks, how's it going? This is a video response to, really should be better prepared, but I'm not. Puppy Games Room. It was Soul Funk Retro, one of his recent videos that he done a video response to Pumpy's, is it Pumpy Games Room. I hadn't heard of Pumpy Games Room before. Somehow I just missed his channels, but now watch some of his videos and now I'm subscribed. So I'll put a link to Pumpy Games Room channel down below, as well as Soul Funk Retros, both great YouTubers. But it's basically my Christmas gaming memories, and Pumpy Games Room said I had to wear a Christmas jumper. I don't have a Christmas jumper. He said I had to wear a Christmas hat if I didn't have a Christmas jumper. I don't have a Christmas hat. So this it's gonna have to do, and it's already cooking my head. Jesus Christ, how do you people with hair cope? It's so hot in here. So my Christmas gaming memories now. I was speaking to my wife earlier on about it, and like, did she remember ever getting a games console or anything like that for Christmas, or even like, can she remember getting specific presents for Christmas? And I can't. I can remember having certain machines, or I can't all through all the years of my childhood, if that makes sense. I remember having certain machines, and I remember having this machine. I basically had any and every games console and handheld going, or even computer going. I think I genuinely have owned everything when I was younger, at some point in my life, but when I was a child, I should say. But when and how I actually came to acquire them, I cannot remember. I cannot remember. But there's three different consoles, if you like, or things that I do somehow manage to remember. I've retained some information. Excuse me while I jiggle. I don't know how, but I have. But yeah, the first one was I was maybe 6 or so, and I used to always see an advert on the telly. At this point, I hadn't really experienced any sort of computer games or anything like that, with the exception of like the Tiger handheld electronic games, the Grandstand, Astro Wars, things like that. I hadn't really experienced anything, but I used to always see this advert on the telly.
The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari. It's the video system with classics galore, from Space Invaders to cars that roar. A real hit joystick controls the screen. Solaris is hot and Midnight Magic's mean. And one more thing, it's got a special low price, under 50 bucks. 50 bucks? Now isn't that nice? The fun is back, oh yes siree. It's the 2600 from Atari.
Now, to me, it looked absolutely amazing, and I can't remember if I pestered my mum for it or what the story was. But I remember one Christmas, I must have been I guess 6, maybe 5 years old. I came down in the morning, and there was this big fuck off box in the living room. I was like, how did Santa get that in his sack apart from anything else? And it was huge, and I was opening this box from the top. It was, maybe it wasn't huge. I was only little. It's when you used to think it snowed a lot, and maybe it really didn't. It's just because you had tiny legs. So when it was really up to your knees, it was probably only up to people's toes when you're adult feet. I don't know. But anyway, I was opening this huge box, and I was like, "Whoa, what's in here?" And there's polystyrene and stuff. And I was taking it out, and I was like, "What's in there?" And the mom took it out, and it was a TV. And I had that TV not till that long ago, actually, a little 14-inch. I think it was I want to say Hitachi, I might be wrong. 14-inch color TV, and I was like, "Oh no way! I've got my own TV. That's amazing, amazing! Thanks, mom, amazing!" And then opened some other presents, and then I opened up another box which wasn't so big, and lo and behold, it was the thing that I'd been seeing on the TV, the Atari 2600. This thing that looked amazing compared to the Tiger handheld electronic games and the Grandstand, Astro Wars, and the, oh, I can't remember what you call them now, but those little fucking triangular visiony things that used to play games on. You know what I mean? And it looked amazing, and I was like, oh my god, I've got my own games console, a proper machine. And I also got, I don't know if it was a packing game. I don't know if it had a packing game with it. It wasn't Pac-Man. That was really bad. I know that. But it was Yars' Revenge that I got. And I remember playing that on Christmas. And no word of a lie, I was amazed, first of all. amazing sound, amazing graphics. It's an Atari 2600. How can you be saying that? I know, but from that day on, I've said this before, but I never ever I basically played the thing to death. I played it all Christmas. I played it every day probably after Christmas for God knows how long. And I have mentioned it before, Yars' Revenge, if you don't know the game, there's a big bit that sort of runs down the screen, a sort of shield area or a barrier area. And I'd burnt that into my CRT TV because I've played it so much. But yeah, but it was my first proper own games console. And I think I don't know what it was. I've touched on this before as well. When I had a Game Boy, I had the same game for a year. I think my mum thought, oh, he's got the Go console a game now. He doesn't need anything else. So I think I had Yars' Revenge for about a year. That's probably why I burnt an image into it onto my CRT TV, because I bloody only had that game for a year. So considering I've had every sort of games console going, the Atari 2600, amazing. I had it for a bloody long time. It's probably out of date when I got it, to be honest with you. It launched whenever, late 70s or something like that. I remember seeing my friend's Commodore 64 when I still had the Atari 2600, and I was like, oh my god. But considering that I did have that, and I've had every other machine, etc., when I was a child or growing up, there's only really two other sort of gaming related Christmas things that I remember. This one, I don't think it was mine. Honestly, it's like I got to the age that I am, my brain just went, don't need to remember anything else. And, you know, my childhood was just like, can hardly remember any of it. But I was at my auntie's house, and I did live with my auntie for a little while when I was younger. But and I remember my cousins were sitting around a sort of wooden little coffee table thing. I think this was maybe the first time that I saw one of these as well. But what they got was one of these. Maybe this is where the love for this originally came from. A ZX Spectrum, not this exact model, but this is mine, not this machine, but this model, 128K plus 2 black model. What is that? A plus 2B. There you go. And it was the James Bond. That's fucking something else altogether. It was the James Bond 007 pack where you got the light gun, and I've got the game somehow. The 007 action pack. I've got the games, and I've got a light gun. I've just not got the box for the thing. And you had James Bond's 007 action pack, Q's shooting range, and Q's message. What? Audio tape. That's what that is. Mission Zero. Lord Bromley's Estate. It was a really shite game. But I remember sitting around the coffee table with my two cousins. My male cousin, if you like, a couple of years younger than me. Then my female cousin was a couple of years younger than him still. And we're sitting around this thing, and we were amazed because this was like a proper computer. We were like, whoa, play games. And I remember sitting watching the loading screens, and all the beeps and the noises, you know, the typical Spectrum loading sounds, and then you see the picture getting drawn in line by line by line by line. And it was the first time I'd ever played with a video game that had a light gun as well. And we sat around that table for ages in the living room playing it and playing it and playing it. And another game that I also remember playing on that day was Cauldron, classic Spectrum game for me. And again, I was playing this and I was thinking, oh my god, that is amazing graphics. And I was just blown away. It's just, our kids nowadays blown away by things like what we were when we saw them were kids. Or I don't know if it still works like that or not, but like I say, I'm not 100% convinced if that machine was mine or not. I can't remember, my brain's not very good. Or if it was theirs, as in my cousins, and I just happened to be there and we were playing it. But I don't know if that's where my love for the Spectrum originated from. That's such a good memory for me, just sitting around there playing the glorious ZX Spectrum with my cousins. I was blown away. I even remember flicking through the manual. I think it's got things with BASIC in it and whatnot, and I was like, oh my god, this is not an Atari 2600. This is a proper computer, and you can make games. This book says you can make games. But yeah, it was pretty amazing. But that's about it for like gaming memories. The only other time Christmas is I remember getting a Mega Drive that my mum bought second hand off one of the neighbours because they wanted a Mega Drive 2. One of these people, if there's always something new, that they would get that. They wanted a Mega Drive 2, so I got the Mega Drive 1. I do remember more stuff than what I think, actually. And I got Sonic with it, and I got Alicia Dragoon, and I got Columns and Golden Axe and Super Monaco GP or something all in one cartridge. I've got no idea what it is. I'm getting sweaty. This heart's making me sweaty. But yeah, that's the only other thing. I don't remember how many memories as such from playing it at Christmas, but I do remember getting that for Christmas, the Mega Drive. But yeah, some great gaming memories. The Atari 2600. I was just amazed that I had, like, it went from Christmas Day up into my bedroom and I played it to death, and that's where it stayed. And I was just amazed. I had my own telly and I had my own 2600, and then when I saw the Spectrum, the love has never faded. Glorious Spectrum machine again. I was absolutely blown away. I was going to say it was such a leap from the Atari 2600. In some ways it is, in some ways it probably isn't. But yeah, I was totally blown away, blown away. It's good times as children. Like I say, I don't know if kids nowadays still get like a fucking, it was a PS3 for the first time and their brains like exploding, or a PS4 or an Xbox One or whatever. It's just what happened when we were kids, because technology was what it was and it changed so much between generations and whatnot. But yeah, gaming Christmas memories, eh? Some good times. But that's that. I'm surprised I actually managed to remember so much, because my brain's a bit poopy. But like I said, I'll put a link down to Pumpy Games Room and SoFunk Retro down below. Please feel free to check them out. I just want to say as well, although I look beautiful with my new white hair, with my tiny carrot cockhead thing, and is this my hair? What is this? Olaf? What is this, Olaf? Twigs or something sticking out my head? I do not know. Probably the last time that I'll make a video before Christmas. Any others that get put up I've probably already made. So last year I think I done a what did I do? Hot pepper man flu Christmas message thing. I'll put a link down to that below as well. I should say I basically ate a habanero pepper. I think that's what it was, to try and see if it would cure man flu. The results are interesting, is all I'll say. I'll put a link down to that below as well if you want to check it out. But hope everybody has a nice Christmas. I can't wait for this video to finish so I can take the stupid hat off my head and stop cooking my little brain with my little memories that I do have retained somehow. Like I say, guys, for me, hope everybody has an amazing Christmas, has a great time, gets what they want off Santa or whatever, has an amazing time with their family, friends, etc. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, and a good new year. And from me, Merry Christmas. Thank you much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Do you want to build a snowman? And I'll catch you later.
Do you have a monkey in your pants?